October 29th, 2003, a date that would change gaming forever. When the first Call of Duty launched, nobody knew what it would become, and nobody knew it would reshape the first-person shooter genre, dominate online multiplayer for over a decade, and build one of the most loyal, passionate, and influential communities gaming had ever seen. It didn't start as a giant, it started as a challenger and an underdog, stepping into a crowded field ruled by Medal of Honor and other World War II shooters. But on that day, something new was born. Something cinematic, immersive, and emotionally powerful. Something that felt different. This humble beginning would spark a chain reaction, a rise that would take the franchise through legendary campaigns, groundbreaking multiplayer, and cultural moments. And unforgettable memories too, shared across millions of players around the world. This is the evolution, the rise, and eventually the decline of why Call of Duty was so successful. The early days. The origins of Call of Duty begin with a small team at Infinity Ward. Many of them former Medal of Honor developers who wanted to push World War II shooters into a more immersive, cinematic territory. Their focus on squad-based combat, realistic sound design, and intense movie-like missions set the foundation for everything that followed. The fall of Medal of Honor. Before Call of Duty, Medal of Honor ruled the World War II genre, but as EA began rushing out sequels with aging engines and stale mission design, players were hungry for something fresh. Call of Duty's tighter mechanics, better pacing, and more modern storytelling overshadowed Medal of Honor, leading to its decline, and eventually leaving the door wide open for Call of Duty to step in and push them aside and dominate. The rise of multiplayer. Early Call of Duty multiplayer, especially in Call of Duty 2, introduced fast, fluid, ultra-responsive gameplay that felt smoother than its competition. It became a staple on Xbox Live, building a reputation for addictive gameplay. This was the spark that would eventually turn COD into an online juggernaut. Running an MP40, running a Thompson, M1 Garand, running into people and getting 2 and 3 kills in a row, having that addictive dopamine hit just by playing the game, running around, getting kills, jumping around, and feeling that arcade-style shooter really helped people get addicted with Call of Duty.
50,000 people used to live here. Now it's a ghost town.
Modern Warfare. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare changed gaming forever, literally. Modern setting, cinematic storytelling, iconic characters, a campaign filled with shocking moments. Everyone remembers where they were when that nuke dropped on Call of Duty 4. Sitting at home, playing through a mission, and the nuclear bomb goes off. One was in awe. Shock, distress, crazy storytelling. But multiplayer is really where it exploded. Introducing creator class, kill streaks, deep progression, prestige mode, and tight fast-paced map design. You think of some of the features there alone with creator class, where we would be if we didn't have that today. Things like the gold AK-47, the M40A3 sniper that would go on to make hundreds of thousands of montages and basically make superstars. All of these systems introduced things that no other game had even thought of. People could go into a game with their own class, with their own style, and play a certain way, while other players could do the complete opposite and still dominate. For the first time, you were rewarded for being good and for playing better with kill streaks. With 3 kills, you'd get a UAV, which would reveal enemy players on the map. Then you would get artillery, and artillery would just rain havoc on one area of the map and just kill anyone near it. And then came the big boy, helicopter, and COD 4 helicopters, very overpowered. So it rewarded players for being good at the game. It allowed them to go there, play the game, and if they were good enough, get rewards, kill streaks. Deep progression and prestige mode were also a huge pinnacle turning point for the game. Now players could rank up, try and get to the prestiges, and have bragging rights over their friends. Oh, I'll race you to 10th prestige, level 70, level 50, level 60, whatever. People could have that competition and also have fun in the bragging rights. We'd never had this before. So this was huge, as well as the creator class and kill streaks. Just things that added together in the multiplayer experience that made it so good. And then let's not forget the maps. Backlot, Bog, Vacant, some of the greatest maps of all time, Crash. Maps that still to this day get remastered because of how good they were. The maps were simple but effective. They played well and became fan favourites for years and years down the line. COD 4 didn't just succeed. It rewrote the rules for FPS games and became a cultural moment. World at War. After Call of Duty 4, everyone was expecting another Modern Warfare game, but Treyarch came out swinging with Call of Duty World at War, and it was completely different to what people thought. It was a return to World War II, but with a darker tone, raw, brutal, violent, and emotionally heavy. It felt more mature, realistic, and just insane. Then, Zombies was born. What started as a hidden bonus mode grew into one of the most beloved game modes in FPS history, with endless replayability and a dedicated fanbase. The campaign, you were playing as multiple different factions from the US to Russia, fighting at different parts around the world, all over the globe in different kinds of combat. Then, Zombies, a mode where round-based survival with limited weapons, with the undead coming at you. It was scary, spooky, fun, and addictive. And then the multiplayer. Maps like Dome and Castle were invented. Great maps for multiplayer where people could run a Arasaka, or they could pull a PTRS, or a Carbine, or an FG42, or a Thompson, or an MP40, and they'd fall in love with it again. 7 kills didn't get you a helicopter this time, it got you dogs. Dogs that would hunt down enemy players and get you a big kill streak. The multiplayer was fun, the game was a good package, and it kept the tone of grittiness across all 3 modes. It wasn't just a one-hit wonder. This game really set the tone for what a World War II shooter should be. The change. 2009, Modern Warfare 2. A game that would literally change everything. Modern Warfare 2 was chaos, and players loved every second of it. No game created more community moments than Modern Warfare 2. From trick-shotting, to quick-scoping, to 1v1 rush duels after school, clans, montage culture on YouTube. Kill streaks were wild, AC-130s raining down from above on Favela, to chopper gunners on high-rise ripping you to shreds, nuclear bombs getting dropped when someone went on 25 kill streak. Maps were fast, and arguably the most fun, overbalanced game ever made. Modern Warfare 2 built the culture of Call of Duty. You look at Optic Gaming and FaZe with their montages, that's where it started. Everything from the montages to people doing Let's Plays, everything started in this period, and it just took everything that World at War made, everything that Call of Duty 4 made, and just said, hold up, let me cook. And we got one of the most fun, if not the most fun multiplayer of all time. Not to mention a great storyline for the campaign, where we were getting invaded, well, America was getting invaded, in your own backyard. You had to deal with that, with betrayal from Shepard, introducing iconic characters like Ghost. Then, we had Spec Ops, a third game mode. It wasn't Zombies, but it was a challenging mode. Everyone wanted to try and get 3 stars on Spec Ops. Again, bragging rights, but it was fun. Modern Warfare 2 did the same thing as World at War. Complete package, 3 modes that played phenomenal and were fun. But this time, honestly, Modern Warfare 2 is what made YouTube boom in the gaming scene, in my opinion. At that current time, Minecraft had just come out, and that many people weren't really watching Minecraft. Everyone was watching Modern Warfare 2 montages. Everyone was trying to get into the trick shot and trying to get into the quick scoping. And it's what really set the path for what we know today, YouTube and Call of Duty. Black Ops 1. In 2010, Treyarch came swinging. They decided to change things up again, and they brought out Black Ops 1, a Cold War conspiracy thriller. And the campaign, still to this day, might be the greatest campaign we've ever had, introducing characters like Woods and Mason, the numbers, and just really showing how good the storytelling was. On top of that, they brought Zombies back, but as an actual third game mode promoted from day one. So, new systems. We got to play all these new maps, such as Call of the Dead, Moon, Ascension, and Kino, and 5. And on top of that, the multiplayer. Now, a lot of people didn't enjoy the multiplayer, but it had a lot of innovation. For the first time ever, wager matches were added, high-stakes competitive creativity. Theater mode brought content creation to life. Some of the best clips of all time were recorded on Black Ops 1 Theater with tomahawks across the map and going and watching them and slowing them down and recording them. We didn't have access to record our games as easily back then. If you didn't have Theater, you had to have an Elgato, or you had to have a HD PVR or something that was a capture card for a 360 or a PS3. This was revolutionary. And Black Ops 1 proved COD was not just a military shooter. It was storytelling, survival, and innovation. The end of the trilogy. In 2011, Infinity Ward decided to wrap up the trilogy with Modern Warfare 3. Another modern setting based straight after Modern Warfare 2 with some really cool features that we'd never seen before. They copied the previous games and decided to add a third mode. This time it wasn't Spec Ops, it was survival. They took the framework of zombies and implemented it in a modern setting. You would now survive waves of enemies and insurgents with dogs, juggernauts, and helicopters, and it would get harder every round. But you could buy weapons, kill streaks, and even Delta squads, and have some Marines there to help you. It became quite addictive and players loved it. Different levels, different sections, and different difficulties. On top of that, we got the Specialist kill streak. So we had Specialist strike packages for the first time, which they became a fan favourite for gun skill focused players. Weapon leveling and smoother balance created a competitive, clean feeling multiplayer, and it just built on Modern Warfare 2's energy while tightening the overall experience. It wasn't as chaotic, but it was still fun, and a lot of players really enjoyed the game. And then, to wrap it up, the campaign. To end the trilogy, they decided, let's just go all out and make the campaign crazy, killing off characters, and it worked. One of the greatest campaigns, again, in the entire COD franchise. There are arguments for different games, but it's got to be in the conversation. To end the trilogy with characters that people had grown up with at this point, it was crazy. Just like Modern Warfare 2, when Ghost died, everyone was talking about it. Modern Warfare 3, Price, Soap, Makarov, everyone was talking about it. They'd done a good job. And that gets us to the GOAT.
I got it. Good job.
The greatest Call of Duty. 2012, Call of Duty Black Ops 2 is revealed. A futuristic Call of Duty. No one had ever done this before. No one knew what to expect. When the game released, everyone was mind blown with what this game had to offer. Starting with campaign, we got to revisit Mason and Woods from Black Ops 1, but travel in time and play it as Mason's son, set in the year 2025. And what a campaign it was. Then, the zombies. We got to finally try something completely different, and whether you like transit or not, it was very different and creative. You could get on a bus and go around the whole map and run through the dark and pack a punch. There was a bank that you could store money in, and it felt crazy. It was something completely different to the last zombies. Then those survival maps, smaller sections of transit that you could try surviving with very limited weapons and no pack-a-punch. Things like Farm, which to this day have been remastered again in Black Ops 7. Other maps came later with DLC, such as Buried and Mob of the Dead. And again, some of the greatest maps of all time. But the multiplayer is what really set this game apart. This game is still ahead of its time. Inside of the multiplayer, you had public match, fast-paced, fast maps, perfect weapon balance, pick 10 system, and unmatched replayability. The pick 10 system allowing players to customize their class, tailoring it to their experience and how they play it, but with penalties. You couldn't just put everything on it, you had to be smart. If you wanted to play a certain way, you couldn't run all the attachments, so you had to sacrifice something else, which made it more sense. Some of the greatest maps of all time, Raid, Standoff, Slums, still getting remastered to this day because of how iconic they were. And on top of that, they even remastered maps from back then. Studio, which was firing range from Black Ops 1. The best variant, in my opinion, showing the level of detail and really just how much effort they were putting in. They then added DLC packs for camos. The United Kingdom flag, US flag, Weaponized 115, Aqua, Pack-a-Punched, and Party Rock. You know, just to name a few. It's still getting brought back to this day. Yes, it was microtransactions, but it was also not brain rot. It was allowing you to go into your store and say, I want a camo to put on every single gun I have. That was that simple. It is what it is. £2.50, $2.50, here's a camo. Put it on all your guns. It was that simple. It wasn't a blueprint, and it wasn't a skin. It was a camo, and that was it. Then, theater mode. What they took was, okay, let's look at Black Ops 1 and let's make it better. So what did they do? They did even more than that. They allowed you for the first time to save videos that will still be there to this day. I have footage from 13 years ago that I can still go and watch right now on my Xbox account that I can codcast, which is insane to me, which gets me to the codcaster. For the first time, We had a codcaster that revolutionized esports broadcasting, playing overlays, team colors, score displays, shaping how competitive COD and other esports would be shown forever. And the fact that you can go into your theater in 2025 and codcast one of your games from 2012 is insane. That's how far ahead in the future this game was. And then just when you think it can't get any better, two huge things happened. Hardpoint, a new mode which transformed competitive Call of Duty strategy and became a staple for over a decade. And, of course, live streaming. For the first time ever, we could live stream from Black Ops 2 to YouTube and to Facebook, which was huge for players back in the day. People couldn't just afford gaming PCs back then to stream, or game laptops, because they were so expensive. This gave them an alternative. And it really did change the game. Call of Duty Black Ops 2 was not just a game. It was a technological leap and a competitive revolution and a cultural centerpiece. And just when you think Black Ops 2 couldn't get any better, they released League Play, a competitive esports mode that was ranked and years ahead of its time. Skill-based divisions, competitive rule sets, and meaningful progression. And it was tailored to competitive players who wanted to get into competitive or play like the pros. And that's exactly what it was. You would play placement games, and then you would get a division, work your way up the bracket and the ladder, play against pros if you were good enough in the top divisions. And this is what got an entire generation into competitive Call of Duty like myself. It was phenomenal and a great experience. People who became superstars because of this game. Nadeshot, Scump, players who were already in the scene competitively and making content. This is the game that they blew up. You think of Scump's Sweatband and Flawless videos. You think of Nadeshot's Road to 100 and all these videos were on Black Ops 2. This is what really started the boom for competitive Call of Duty, but also the people themselves. This game was so good that people just enjoyed being around it, watching it, playing it. It didn't matter. This was the boom of competitive Call of Duty and YouTubers superstars like Scump and Nadeshot. And just when you think it's all over and done, Call of Duty released the Elite app. Before modern social platforms existed, the COD Elite app provided stats, tracking, clan operations, player heat maps, loadout sharing, and premium content. It was ambitious, essentially a prototype live service, but it was a companion. And it was before modern apps. And you even got a camo. If you downloaded the app and linked your account, you got a free Elite camo on Black Ops 2. We don't have anything like that these days. This was the peak of Call of Duty. It was never bigger. It was never better. 3 years later, there was still 250,000 players on Xbox Live playing that game. This is after the new generation consoles came out as well. What does that tell you? Call of Duty went downhill. After Black Ops 2, the franchise entered a turbulent period. Studio shakeups, over-reliance on yearly releases, fatigue from futuristic settings, mixed community reception to supply drops and monetization, decline in innovation, and just overall a split community between the Modern Warfare style players and the Black Ops style players, with Black Ops 3, Advanced Warfare, and Infinite Warfare dropping in the next few years. Call of Duty didn't die, but it lost its cultural dominance it once had. Call of Duty didn't die. It did lose the cultural dominance it once had. The magic from COD 4 through Black Ops 2 had faded. And it's kind of sad. But that is why Call of Duty became so successful and was the global dominant force it was. I'm going to wrap it up here. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to drop a like and a sub if you're new. As always, it helps out a ton. And I will catch you in the next one.